Hey there, it's David here with another Cinelli chat. If you're trying to do something different, maybe build a business, or you're trying to, even for sports, try to get elevated in the sports, and you're reading a lot of self-help books, they'll always talk about, oh, you need a certain drive, you need to have, certain talent, work ethic, get up early, doing all these great habits. But I notice a lot of these books don't get into something which I think is critical for your success. And a lot of that has to do with mindset. Now, I'm not talking about just a regular mindset. I'm going to go a little deeper. I'm talking about that little voice that lives inside your head. The voice that tells you whether you're good or not good enough when it's just you one-on-one. Sometimes you're just sitting in a room by yourself or ready to go to bed and there's a voice telling you whatever it is. Sometimes the voice is unbelievable. It's encouraging. You're the best. You can do whatever you want. You are amazing. You're going to kill this. But a lot of times, and a lot of us, myself included, when you're in that room, that little voice isn't so nice. The little voice will say something like, you're not going to get that promotion. You're not going to get that job. You're not good enough. What do you think you're even doing? And where does that little voice come from? Well, a lot of that little voice comes from outside influences. But the outside influences don't really take effect until your brain actually starts to believe them. And a lot of that happens when if somebody's talking negatively towards you, and you're like, you can brush it off. But eventually, if you say it enough, it kind of gets into your psyche, and then sometimes you start to believe it. And then even sometimes if you're going around and you start joking, whether that negative reaction is true or not, if you say it jokingly to somebody, your brain doesn't know the difference between whether you're joking or you're not. So if you say something negative about yourself, your brain starts to actually believe it. So when you're in that little quiet room with yourself and just that little voice inside your head, all those negative things could start coming out. And that way, if you have that negative voice, it's very, very hard to be successful, very hard. So what you need to do is just stop that little negative voice inside your head and try to turn it to a positive. Because positive believers, when they have that little room inside, so when they're in there by themselves in a little room or going to bed, whatever it is, that little voice is encouraging them. And you can do the same. If you're finding that you're having a lot of negative thoughts, the first thing you need to do is stop saying anything negative about yourself and stop any negative thoughts. As soon as you see any negative thought creep inside your head, stop it and change it to a positive. You have to. It's the way that your brain works. You can't even joke around being like something negative about yourself again, because your brain will think it's negative. So if you feel even just a slight thought, just stop it and maybe say something positive out loud. There's a lot of mantras, which a lot of these coaches will tell you to do every single morning. There's different types of mantras. There's ones that make you feel better about yourself. Oh, I'm like, yeah, you're great, you're awesome. Like, remember that SNL skit? I'm good enough, I'm smart enough, and gosh darn, people like it. But you're supposed to say these things like every single morning, like 10 times. And your brain gets healthier and believes and it feeds off of that positive energy, just like the way that it feeds off of negative. And there's other mantras which you can do which are more active, saying, whether you want to get the promotion or you want to make sales calls, my coach would always tell me too, he's like, okay, I'm smart enough, I'm going to love doing my sales calls, I'm going to do 10 sales calls a day, I'm going to do 10 sales calls a day. And your brain's going to say, okay, great, you do 10 sales calls a day. And it's just one of those things. So there's active and there's positive mantras. So if you feel like your little voice inside your head is being very negative, turn it around, make it positive, make your brain work for you, not against you. That's the only way that we can get ahead. It's kind of very similar as you've heard those saying before. You can only love somebody else when you love yourself. You can only love another person when you love yourself. Well, it's the same kind of thing. There are only going to be positive things happening in your life when you're positive thinking as well. So go out there, be amazing like I know you are, and only think positive things about yourself, because I think you are absolutely amazing. Have an amazing, wonderful, crazy day today. Bye for now.